Alright guys, as you can see, my power is back on. I had to wait until today to finish my videos. And so what I have laid out for you today is I just started making my flap that's going to be woven. And so all what I did was I took a piece of duct tape when it was all folded out like this, and I just folded it together, so I folded it in half. So now it looks like this. There's just a bunch of these all laid out. And then also, if you have any of these little white parts right here, just make sure you go ahead and trim those all off so you have nice, neat work. The next step that I did was I laid all of these strips out, so I have green underneath. So I will just move all of my black strips. So I have my green strips going this way, laid down, and then I have my black strips laying this way, so that's going to make a diagonal crisscross across my backpack when it's all folded down. And all that I did was I measured out about 4 inches up here, and then I also measured out just like the extra length, or how far down I want the sock to come down on my actual backpack. And so now what I'm going to do is just weave them all together. So this is a very simple process that you can do. You can do this for wallets. A lot of people, that's what they're doing with woven duct tape, is making wallets out of them. In my other video, I made a whole backpack that was just woven. So that was really, really fun. So now all what you're going to do is you're just going to weave. So I'm going to start like this, and I have the black over the green, and the green over the black there, and on that side the green is over the black. I'm going to take my next strip, and I'm going to put it, so the piece the green that's going over the black right here, I'm going to have my black go over that piece. So like that. No, I'm going to have to go like this. Then over, and then under that piece, just like that. And then I'm going to take my next strip, and all I did is I just, to get this point right in the middle, I just counted about 7 squares over this way and 7 over that way, because this is 14 inches across, and so that's right in the middle. So that's how I got this point centered. So now I'm going to go under, and then over, and then under, and then over, like that. And then this one needs to go over that little bit. So as you can see, this is starting to turn into a weave. So I'm just going to continue that throughout here. So I will jump ahead for that. Okay, so now what you want to do for your next step, once you have everything all woven together, you want to make sure that all of your squares and all of your lines and everything is nice and tight together. So I just tightened up the black squares on here. So now what you need to do is tighten up all of the green lines. And remember, your green lines are going this way. So what you want to do is you either want to tighten them up towards that side, this corner, or you want to tighten them towards this bottom line. And I'm going to tighten them up towards the corner. So all what you're going to do is you're going to start up at the corner. And I like to hold the black lines as I'm pushing up and forward. So I like to hold the bottom of it, below the line that I'm actually going to start with. So I'm going to start with about the 4th row or so, and I'm just going to hold the black. And you're just going to push up a little bit, but you don't want to go too far. It's just finding that happy middle. So then you go down to the next row, just push up a little bit, and you want to make sure that you're doing all the way across the line. So then you just go and do that. Across. Your next one. This really doesn't take very long. You just want to make sure you're moving your bottom hand also for what part that you are pushing up. So it's really just getting this part started that's really difficult. So you're just trying to find the happy middle of everything. So once you get towards the bottom, it's a little harder because you really need to try and match up and get this line right here to be nice and tight along with this side line. And you also want to make sure that you're not going to mess up your lines on this side or this side by pushing and pulling and making your flap actually tight. So all I'm going to do now is just make sure that I'm going to get this black flap over nice and tight by pulling on the greens. Like that, and then doing the same thing in the corner. Just making sure it's nice and tight. Just like that. And that actually looks really good to me. So what I'm going to do next is just trim along these edges right here. That's where it'll connect to the backpack. This is the triangle part right here. So I'm just going to trim this up. There you go. So now that's all trimmed off. And so now what you're going to do is you're going to pick a color to use to go around this whole outside edge, and I'm using black since that'll really go with my backpack. So I have my black. So what you're going to do is I'm going to start with this edge over here because this gets a lot of the tape, and I'm just going to lay it all down on top, and then I'm going to do that for each edge. So I'll show you the first one. If I can find the edge of it. Alright. There we go. So I'm going to go about halfway into the tape. So I'm just going to kind of lay it down halfway from edge to edge, and then I'm just going to push down all along there. And then I'm going to take my X-Acto knife so I can get a more precise cut, and I'm going to find the edge, and I usually just push down and then you can see where that duct tape is. And I'm just going to go up like that, just like that. So I'm going to go around and do that on each side around there. Alright, so now that I have all of my sides with black around them, all what you're going to do is you're going to take this, peel it carefully up, and then you're going to flip it all over. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold over all of these sides so you have a nice clean edge. And go ahead and cut right where your trim ends. Just go ahead and cut those corners out. So there's one right there, and one on this side. There and there. Alright, and then what you're going to do, just go ahead and fold these over. You want to make sure that you're getting this really tight to where the duct tape is. So I like to start in the middle. Push down there. Push that all down like that. just like that. And then just go ahead and push down along that whole strip and on the edge so you have a nice clean cut. And then start on the sides. Do the same thing, fold over. Just like that. I'm going to do the other side. Fold this over. And it doesn't matter if this side is actually really perfect or not, because this is going to be your under flap, the underside of your flap for your backpack, so that's not going to be a problem. And then I'm going to do these sides, going in the middle, just like that. And once again, on that side. Just going to cut this little extra piece off here. There. So we can get a nice clean cut off that. Then you're going to fold this last piece over. Just like that. And there you have it. Just make sure you push down all these sides. So you have a nice crease on each edge. And then on top, on each of the little lines, that way you know this is going to be secure and not come off. Okay, and there you have your flap. So now, as you can see, it's going to just fold over like that onto your backpack. So the next step that you're going to have to do is attach this flap to your backpack, and I will show you that now.